mentor. Today is August 8th, year 2013. Well, I tackled the second part to the question of what do you tell yourself when your best is not good enough from either your perspective or that of someone else. The Lord really blessed. I want to encourage you, though, to go back and listen to the first question because some of my answer is certainly is going to tie into the first question that I answered, which was how do you know when you have done your very best in any given situation? Okay, so I'm just going to get right on into it because there's a lot of meat, a lot of wisdom that the Lord gave me, and I want to make sure that you get it. I'm going to ask that, suggest that you get pad and pencil so you can write some of these things down. Of course, you can play the tape, though, the video over and over again. Okay, I'm just a person that loves to take notes. Okay, all right. So again, this life lesson is about what do you tell yourself when your best was not good enough, either from your perspective or from that of somebody else. Okay. First of all, I want to tackle what do you tell yourself when you feel that you have not done your best, when you feel that way. First of all, I want to tell you, do not start calling yourself names or giving yourself negative titles. Okay? Do not do that. I want you to, because you didn't meet your own expectations, do not play the role of a victim as well. But I do want you to do is to start thinking about some kind of checklist or do some kind of analysis or do some reflection to kind of help you move forward in seeing perhaps where you went wrong. Because I'm assuming that it was not your intentions to not to do your best. Perhaps there were some things, some steps that you may have missed out. Now, having said that, we know again from my first video on this matter, not at all times you're going to get a chance to do some kind of checklist or some kind of strategies. But there are a lot of opportunity for you to be able to do that, and you'll know which ones will fall under this and which ones cannot. Okay, so now indicators for you to for you to think that way, that you did not do your best. Here are some indicators, and bouncing off of the tape earlier, your projected outcome was not met. Okay, you did not feel good about yourself, so there was no internal feeling good about yourself. You felt very bad. There was no external feedback. And if any feedback you receive, either it was no external feedback, you can hear the crickets, or there was negative feedback coming from the outside, from peers or whatever entities that were counting on you to do your best. And lastly, the endeavor that you undertook is certainly not duplicatable. In fact, you feel like you should ball it up like a piece of paper and shoot it in the round basket. Okay, so those are some indicators that help you, that make you feel that you did not do your best. All right, so these are the things that I want you to ask yourself. Ask yourself these questions. Did I bite off more than I can chew? Did I do that? Did I bite off more than I can chew? Did I buy into it? Whatever the endeavor was, did I really buy into it? Did I care? Or was this just something that just doing? But remember, we're also talking about some life perspectives, school and jobs and projects and relationships and choosing the right mate. So ask yourself, did I buy into it? Did I really care when things seem to have failed? Okay. Did I have the right tools or resources to work with? Okay. Did I have the right tools and resources? And many other questions you can ask yourself. Why don't I feel that I did my best in this situation? All right. So now, while it is true that we can be our own worst critics, isn't that so? We can criticize ourselves so badly till the negative talk starts sitting in, and then it can spiral us down deep into a hole. And remember, I'm cautioning you not to do that. Okay? Where did I go wrong with raising the kids, in choosing the mate? What was I thinking? All kinds of things. Well, in most cases, somewhere along the pathway of when we're doing something, sometimes we get a little feeling that things are not going like we want to. So sometimes we may pay attention to that. The Lord is good, and He gives us some some antennas that can go up. Okay, and so sometime along the path, so pay attention. Sometime along the pathway, we feel that little feeling, or the radar goes up that something's not going exactly right, especially if you have a checklist too of where you should be or how you want things to go. So pay attention to that. Do not ignore that. But also, we have that opportunity because that feeling can come there, that instinct kick in. We have a chance to readjust or self-correct along the way, or get a chance to do it right or do it over again, and learn from our mistakes to do better in order to make things better at that particular time or somewhere in the future. So don't take it too hard or serious. And I know I used to do the same thing, but try not to let it all consume you to the point where you don't learn from that. Because sometimes we can do everything right, and it's still something don't come out right. I used to sew, and I did my very best, and at the end, my goodness, there was a nip or a tuck somewhere. And you know what I learned to do? I put a bow on it or a ribbon or some kind of flower, and I still got some compliments. So sometimes when things don't go right, if you can readjust it and still make it turn out all right, there's an opportunity out there for you to do that. And I pray that it will happen for you as well. Sometimes we get a chance to do things again. When we're raising our kids, sometimes those grandkids come along, or sometimes you can change your concept when you went wrong in telling the child or teaching your children. There's so many things and opportunities where we can see, that's not working, and we get a chance to go back, okay? So don't count yourself out or count yourself down, all right? Now, part two to that question is when your best was not good enough from somebody else's perspective. Now, this is a horse of a whole different color, right? Because now what we're looking at is that their judgment of your performance, whether you did your best or not, is based on their point of view, or a standard of measurement that has already been preset, especially when it comes to your job or some kind of, where definitely somebody else need to look at your work and judge it, how you're doing. Okay. So, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just the way the world is. So, because especially on jobs and school and taking tests and stuff like that. And so you do want that measurement, because lots of times you've done your best and you've studied in school and everything, but you just didn't make the grade that you want. Well, you need that feedback so that you'll know where you fail so you can do better the next time. So don't take it so seriously, and don't take it so personally. And I know that's saying a lot, but don't be too hard on yourself. But there are times, that it doesn't matter about another person's opinion, though. And be sensitive to know the difference, especially when it's concerning your life. Okay, concerning your life, or someone or some persons that's near and dear to you, that outside entities or somebody else have no business judging the way that you are doing your best or not. Okay, and a lot of that goes on where people can tell you what to do, or put a label on you that you did not do your best. So don't take that too seriously. So what I'm going to go back though and look at situations where you are being judged, whether you did your best from somebody else's perspective, especially when they are maybe in authority to do so. But do not take seriously someone's opinion of you that have nothing to do with your life, and they cannot add anything. They're not paying your bills. You know what I mean, okay? All right. So now, but in the case where someone does have that authority, where you are under some kind of system, whether a job or school or whatever, where someone has the authority to do so, this is what you do when you come into a situation where they, felt that you did not do your best because you didn't meet their standards or meet what they felt that you should have done. Um, be open to criticism. Be open to criticism. We all have been criticized or been critiqued about something, and so be open to it. All right. Criticism is good. It can help. It can help you. It doesn't feel good while it's going on, right? It doesn't feel good. But be open. Ask some questions. Ask questions to the person who's given the judgment call that you didn't do your best, you didn't meet the standard, you didn't perform, or didn't do the task, or whatever the situation was. Ask some questions so that you can learn from this. Now, do not apologize for your creativity or the methods that you used, to go about doing what you did. And now I'm assuming, I'm making an assumption that you have done your very best and that the person is saying that your best was not good enough. So don't apologize then for the methods that you made. Show yourself strong that you had a good rationale for doing that. Do not become defensive, okay? And I know that's one of the first things, we get defensive. Don't become defensive, but be able to explain your rationale for the concept or for the choice or the choices that you made. And then if all else fails, you know, offer or ask for a second chance to do it right. After you sit and talk to the person or persons and they've given you some heads up of what they expected and how they want you to go about doing it, see if they'll give you an opportunity, if it's appropriate, to start over, to do it again. And finally, if none of this works, then simply digress, humbly digress, and be willing to just move forward and learn from it. Okay? Just simply digress and ask God to give you the strength to move forward. And thank God that you still act appropriately, because whatever situation we find ourselves in, we still ought to represent God, our Savior, and He will see us through. But sometimes we will fail mankind, of course, right? But you know in heaven that God is smiling because He knows that you did your best. And even if you did not do your best because of some bumps in the road that I mentioned further up, then make sure that you do your little checklist and your analysis. And then finally, I want to leave you with this quote. Just do what you do and do it well. Stop worrying about what other people are doing or what they will say about what you're doing. Just do what you do the best to the best of your ability. Whether people like or agree with what you are doing is not the issue. Okay? And that is from Iyanla Vanzant. All right. So I hope that this has been helpful to you, and the other video as well. And I look forward to coming back with you again. In fact, I am coming up with a little contest because I love to give things away. And I want to hear from you out there. So I'm coming up with a little contest. I won't tell you what it is. And then I'll also announce what prize I will be giving away once I come up with this little contest. I like to have fun. I hope I don't come across so stiff. And anyway, I want to get out of the mode of being so stiff and everything. I'm very serious about what I do, but I love a sense of humor and I love having fun out there. I love to smile and laugh. And so I will think of something that will get you to smile and have you to say, "Oh, Coach Gray, that's you." But all of these aspects are me. We have different aspects and, different facets to ourselves. And so I just want to show you a different side of me, okay? But in the meantime, I want you to love yourself and love someone else. Emma Gray, your life coach. and spiritual mentor. Bye bye.